So today we are going to continue reading the Feluda Danger in Darjeeling chapter. So let's start. Last time we had stopped on page 199. Let's start from the new page. The Nightwise went to Everest Hotel. Once to Dr. Mitra's house and then to the curio shop and the library and one or two other places. I see. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Have you been able to figure out who is the real No. The time hasn't come to disclose that. No. Not yet. But who do you suspect the most? I suspect everybody, including you. Me? Yes, anyone who has a mask is a suspect. Really, in that case, why don't you include yourself in the list? Don't talk rubbish! I am not! You didn't tell me that you knew Raji and Babu, which means you are not totally honest with me. Besides, you could have easily used that mask. I did not hide it anywhere, did I? Shut up, Firuza said. Raji and Babu seemed a lot better when we arrived at his house, although he still looked faintly uneasy. I felt fine during the day, he told us, but I must say, I am beginning to feel nervous again. Now it's getting dark. Feluda gave him the packet from Tinkori Babu. Rajan Babu opened it quickly and took a beautiful statue of the Buddha, the sight of actually which moved him to tears. Did the police come to make enquiries? Asked Feluda. Oh yes, they ask 1,000 questions. God knows if they'll get anywhere. But at least they have agreed to post someone outside the house during the night. That's a relief. Anyway, in fact, if you wish to go back to a hotel, it will be quite alright. No, we'd rather stay here, if you don't mind. It's too noisy in our hotel. I need puppies and quiet to think about this case. Rajan Babu smiled. Of course, you can stay. You'll get your peace and quiet here. I can promise you an excellent meal. That Nepali boy is a very good cook. I asked him to make his special chicken curry. The food in our hotel could never be half as tasty, I'm sure. We were shown to our room. Firuza stretched out on his bed and lit a cigarette. I saw him blow out 5 smoke rings in a row. His eyes were half closed. After a few seconds of silence, he said, Dr. Mitra did go out to see a patient last night. I found that out this morning. A rich businessman who lives in the Card Road. He was with his patient from 11:30 to 12:30. Does that rule him out completely? Feluda did not answer my question. Instead, he said, Prabir Majumdar has lived abroad for so long and has such a lot of money that I can't see why he should suddenly arrive here and start threatening his father. He stands to gain very little, actually. Why? I learned that he recently made a packet at the local races. I sat holding my breath. It was obvious that Feluda hadn't finished. I was right. Feluda continued. Mr. Gilmore has come to Darjeeling from his tea estate. I met him at the Planters Club. He told me there was only one Tibetan bell and that had come out of the palace of the Dalai Lama, and it is with him. The one Rajan Babu has is a fake. Abani Ghoshal is aware of it. You mean the bell we saw here isn't all that valuable? No. Besides, both Abani Ghoshal and Prabir Majumdar were at a party last night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. That man wearing a mask came here soon after midnight, didn't he? Yes. I began to feel strange. Well then, who does that leave us with? Feluda did not reply. He sighed and rose to his feet. I am going to sit in the living room for a minute, he said. Do not disturb me. I took his place on the bed when he left. It was getting dark, but I felt too lazy to get up and switch on the lights. Through the open window, I could see lights in the distance on Observatory Hill. The noise from the mall had died down. I heard the sound of hoofs after a while. They got louder and louder, then slowly faded away. It soon grew almost totally dark. The hills and the houses on it were now practically invisible. Perhaps a mist was rising. Again, I began to feel sleepy just as my eyes started to close. I suddenly sensed the presence of someone else in the room. My blood froze. Too terrified to look in the direction of the door, I kept my eyes fixed on the window. But I could feel the man move closer to my bed. There, he was now standing right next to me and was leaning over my face. Transfixed, I watched his face come closer. Oh, how horrible it was! A mask! Oh, mask! He was wearing a mask. I opened my mouth to scream, but an unseen hand pulled the mask away, and my scream became a nervous gasp. Feluda! Oh my god, it's you? Had you dozed off? Of course, it's me. Who did you think? Feluda started to laugh, but suddenly grew grave. Then he sat down to me and said I was simply trying on all those masks in the living room. Why don't you wear this one for a second? He passed me his mask. I put it on. Can you sense something unusual? Why? No, its size is too large for me, that's all. Think carefully. Isn't there anything else that might strike you as odd? Well, there is a faint smell, I think. Of what? Chirut, exactly. Feluda took off the mask. My heart started to beat faster again. Tinkori Babu? I stammered. Feluda sighed, yes, I am afraid so. It must have been extremely easy for him. He had access to all kinds of printed material, and you must have noticed he was limping in the morning. That might have been the result of jumping out of a window last night. But what I totally failed to understand is his motive. He appeared to respect Rajan Babu a lot. Why then did he do something like this? What for? Perhaps we shall never know. The night passed peacefully without any further excitement. In the morning, just as we went down to have a breakfast with our host, his Nepali servant came in with a letter for him. It was once again a blue envelope with a Darjeeling postmark. Rajan Babu went white. He took out the letter with a trembling hand and passed it to Feluda. You read it, he said in a low voice. Feluda read it aloud. This is what it said. Dear Raju, when I first wrote to you from Calcutta after Ganesh told me you had a house in Darjeeling, I had no idea who you really were, but that photograph of yours on your mantelshelf told me instantly that you were none other than the boy who had once been my classmate in the missionary school in Bankura 50 years ago. I did not know that the desire for revenge would raise its head after so many years. You see, I was the boy you tripped at the 100 yards race on a sports day. Not only did I miss out on winning a medal and setting a new record, but you also managed to injure me pretty seriously. Unfortunately, my father got transferred to a different town only a few days after this incident, which was why I never got the chance to have a showdown with you then. Nor did you ever learn just how badly you had hurt me, both mentally and physically. I had to spend 3 months in a hospital with my leg in a cast. When I saw you here in Darjeeling leading such a comfortable and peaceful life, I suddenly thought of doing something that would cause you a great deal of anxiety and ruin your peace of mind, at least for a short time. This was my way of settling scores and punishing you of your past sins. With good wishes, yours sincerely, Tinu Tinkori Mukhopadhyay. Translated by Gopa Majumdar. So, friends, how was the story? Write in the comments. Wasn't it interesting? Bye bye. Thank you.